Good day, class. Yesterday, or maybe 5 minutes ago, depending on when you watch videos, we have taken a look at multiplying with powers. Now we're going to take a look at addition with powers. And to introduce you to this, they use the surface area of a cube to explain how certain things can be the same and how you can add them. So they say, well, we have a cube with edges A. Remember, in a cube, all the edges have the same length, so all the edges are A. And we can now calculate the surface area of this cube in two different ways. You could just calculate the area of one of those faces, that is A times A, and then calculate the next one, A times A, and A times A, and A times A, and A times A, and the bottom one will be A times A. And then add them up, a squared plus a squared plus a squared, etc. And that will give me 6a. Well, we don't know yet, but this gives me an answer. But some of you might already say or see that, well, every face has the same area, so I can just do 6 times a squared. 6 times one of those areas is 6a squared, must give me the same results. So apparently this must be the same as this. And that's kind of the same. No, that's not kind of the same. It's actually the same as without the exponents. If I add a plus a, then we would say that's 3a. And that's the same as 3 times a. 6 times a squared is the same as a squared plus a squared plus a squared, etc. So if I have something like this, 3a squared plus 5a squared, that means a squared plus a squared plus a squared plus, yeah, you can read it right here. I'm not going to pronounce it every time. Now count how many of them you have. That will give me 8 of them, so 8a squared. So if you're going to add powers, you just add how many of them you have, and that are the numbers that are in front. 3a squared plus 5a squared is 8a squared. Don't change the letter and don't change the exponent, please. They don't change, as you can see right here. What changes is how many of them do you have, and that's the number that's in front of my letter in exponents. You can only do this when the letters are exactly the same. Remember like terms, right? Gelijksoortige termen. If they are not the same, like 5a to the third and 2a squared, they are not like terms. So not only the letter has to be the same, the exponent has to be the same as well. Like terms have exactly the same letters with exactly the same exponents. You can only combine like terms. So example, 5a to the third power plus 2a to the third power. It's an addition. The letter is the same, the exponent is the same, so I have 5 plus 2 is 7, a to the third power. 5a to the third power plus 2a to the fourth power is not possible to simplify because a to the third is not the same as a to the fourth. Cannot be simplified. If I have something like this, the letter is the same, the number is the same, the exponent, I mean with that. Remember, if there's nothing in front of my letter, that means I have one of them. So 1a to the 7th plus 1a to the 7th gives me 2a to the 7th. Likewise, if I subtract them, 1a to the 8th minus 1a to the 8th, yeah, is 0. 8 to the 8th, but you don't write down a to the 8th anymore. You just write down 0. If you have this and you subtract what you start with, you are left with nothing, also known as 0. Let's practice. And you see here the and is underlined. And. So that's important. The bases and exponents should be the same. So that means the letter on the ground and my number in the air. First one is already spelled for you guys. 2 plus 3 is 5, x to the third power. What would be the answer of this one? First check. Are they like terms? Do they have the same numbers, the same letters and exponents, the same bases and exponents? The answer is yes, right? A to the third a to the third here, b and b. So the answer here would be 2a to the third b. One of them here, one of them here. Together they are 2 of them. The next one, 4a squared plus 5a to the 6th power. Are they like terms? No, they aren't. So cannot be simplified. Why? Because my exponent is not the same. This one, a to the third b plus a to the third b squared. I think you should be happy if you get this, because this again can't be simplified, because my b is not the same as my b squared. Okay, my a to the third is the same, but everything has to be the same. All my letters and exponents, if they are there, should be the same, and they aren't, so they cannot be simplified. Here you have to be careful, right? Because now I'm combining stuff. Because now I'm combining multiplication and addition. So do not write down cannot be simplified in one go, because this is a multiplication and this as well. And multiplication have different rules. Multiplication can always be simplified. I already said that quite a few times this year. So here we do 3 times 2 is 6. A to the third times a to the second is a to the 5th. Remember, add the exponents, add the numbers in the air. Do that for this one as well. And it gives me 4a to the 5th. Remember, there's actually a 1 here in the air. Hey, and now I have like terms, because I have the same letter with the same exponents. So I can add them up. 10a to the 5th. Okay, so be careful when we're going to introduce addition and multiplication in one exercise. You will get that later on as well. And the last thing, so please pay attention to the differences of addition and multiplication. Here I get 5a to the 5th power. Here the same question will be the multiplication dot here. I get 6a to the 10th power. 3 times 2, 5 plus 5. Here I don't have like terms, so it cannot be simplified. Here I can't. Just do 3 times 2, and a to the 5th times a to the 6th means a to the 5 plus 6 is 11. This is of major importance. And of course you have enough time to practice this. We have 2 paragraphs after this as well. So don't worry too much if you find that this is quite a lot at this time. Just to warn you that this is important to know the difference of. In a few weeks, if you're going to do the test and you do not know the difference between those 2 exercises right here, then you're going to have a very hard test in front of you. Okay, so take a good look at the rules. The rules was this one with like terms and addition, and the other one was the previous video when we're going to multiply them. And there are different rules with different answers. Good luck.